DC14 Kelvin's Wish. Soul-touching and life-enhancing stories. Kelvin's Wish. A Christmas story. Kelvin was a little boy who lived in a big city. His parents were very content and happy with Kelvin because he was the nicest son any parents could dream of. He did his homework, cleaned up after himself, helped his father and mother with almost everything, and was very gentle in his manners. His kindness was known among his friends, and everybody loved Kelvin. The only strange thing was with Kelvin that he always looked sad. His parents and friends had often asked him about it, but he never told anyone the reason regarding his sadness, except for Santa. Kelvin had a special gift, which at the same time gave him that sadness. He could see the bad and unhealthy things people were doing to themselves, others and the planet, and felt that the world soon could come to an end when people would not change. He understood at a young age that most illnesses came from people not taking care of themselves. He could feel the pain of sick people everywhere around the world. He felt the pain of starving children, war victims, and he felt the aching of Mother Earth, who was suffering from all the pollution and other bad things mankind was doing to the planet. Kelvin was sad, and he was unable to help others and the world, and it burdened him. Each year, the only wish he had on his present list for Christmas was that he asked Santa to change the people of the planet Earth, so things could change around. Each year he had received the same answer from Santa. Live your life as good as possible, and you do more good than you can imagine. Leave the world and the people of the world as they are. This answer was seemingly not enough for Kelvin because he had decided to write the same wish 3 times daily because he really wanted Santa to do something. It was the last night before Christmas, and his stocking was packed with the same wish, and there was no room anymore in it for another letter to Santa, who hadn't even come to pick up his wish letters. It was that night that Santa came to his home to fulfill his wish. Santa had knocked gently on his bedroom window, after which Kelvin woke up, opened the window, and stepped in Santa's sleigh. "I'm glad that you came, Santa. Are you going to fulfill my wish?" Yes, but maybe not in the way you want. It is not my position to change the people of the world, but I can give them a possible new start, to start over again and to do things different. They have to change themselves, wanting to change, and just like you, they are wanting that someone else changes all their trouble for them. It is the same with your sadness, which you need to change, for it is not your position and task to change the world, nor is it for you to carry this all as a burden. Santa, why did you not fulfill my wish for all these years? I had been waiting till you would change your sadness by just accepting that in general people do not want to change. It is the history of the planet. You didn't change, and they didn't change. And actually, the situation on the planet is even getting worse. The magic which I am able to give is to give you all a new beginning, and you will see what happens. History will repeat itself. I do not believe this. I know that I'm not able to convince you with my words, and that's why I'm here to fulfill your wish, but in my way. After touring around for a little while with Kelvin in his sleigh, Santa brought Kelvin back to his bed. Christmas Eve came and it started to snow. Not white snow, however, but colorful magical snow that made everybody on the planet fall into a deep, deep sleep. When everybody woke up, they found themselves on a special planet that only had Christmas trees, but as tall and as big as skyscrapers. Each family had received one tree as their home for themselves. The soil on this planet was covered with swamps, and many dangerous reptiles were living there, and so it was not possible to live on the soil, but each tree offered everything that humans needed. Every tree on one of his branches had a wooden home to shelter the family living in that tree. The leaves held rainwater for drinking, and some really big leaves functioned as bathtubs. There was plenty of sunshine, and there were many natural gardens on the huge branches that provided all the food that was needed. The environment kept everybody fit, as one needed to walk on the huge branches to get from one place to the next, climb up and down to other branches, or swinging on the vines that connected them all, and everybody worked in the gardens. Then there was also no real danger falling from the huge branches, as one would always fall underneath in one of the big soft leaves. Life was good, and everybody had plenty of food and water. In no time, however, each family was busy either with enlarging or building a new home. Some standing in other places on the tree, or hanging like ornaments on the branches. The family started to cut more and more wood from the branches to make endless things made from wood for their comfort in their homes. And it didn't take too long before the first families were building with the vines a network of bridges to other trees and started to marry their children with other tree families. And all of them started exchanging goods. It was not long after this that most families that had gardens that produced everything started to specialize themselves in certain foods only, and began a trading system. More and more trees started to be connected with the vine bridge system, and in a short time certain trees became like a city. Many families left their own tree and lived together in another. They invented money to buy things, and the taking care of one's own food and health got now in the hands of others. It was at the same time that jealousy started to play its game, and soon stealing and even wars between city trees was the news of the day. The simple vine connection bridge system was replaced with a wooden road system. It became busier and busier in every tree, and many areas of the tree became barren, as branches were cut and leaves were used for many other things. Factories were erected everywhere, and a heavy smog of pollution was inside and around the trees. Then many illnesses came up, and hospitals couldn't take care of the increasing number of sick people. The city trees became so packed that even the branches started to break, and it didn't too long before people had to leave their trees that became completely barren and started to invade other trees. It all happened so fast in front of Kelvin's eyes, and he was in shock to see this strange behavior of mankind, and history repeating itself. It was at one Christmas Eve that it started to snow. Not white snow, however, but colorful magic snow that made everybody on the tree planet fall into a deep, deep sleep. When everybody woke up, including Kelvin, they found themselves back in their homes on that Christmas Eve. Kelvin, sitting in the living room with his parents, excused himself for a minute and went up to his bedroom, where Santa was waiting for him. Then Kelvin started to say, "Why did you give us all a new beginning, knowing that the people would do the same again? I told you so, but I had to do this for you, so you could see and hopefully would stop living with your sadness. Now you know that people in general do not change, but I hope that you are now convinced and are able to change your sadness. How the people of the world behave is not to be your burden. You are helping the world more than you can imagine by being who you are and doing your very best, not to harm yourself, others, and the planet. Stay on your path, as one day all of us as individuals stand before the Creator, who will be asking us if we did our very best in the circumstances we were in." Kelvin thanked Santa for this adventure, and that deep sadness left his being, and he continued to just be the best person he could be, without harming his health and mind and without harming others and the world, and helping there wherever he could. What the story could bring us. We all talk about change, and even demanding change, but what about changing ourselves? By trying to change others and the world, we have very little influence, but we all have the capacity to change ourselves. By doing this and trying to become conscious individuals, taking care about ourselves, others in the world, the best we can, we do more good than we think. By doing so, we are causing less harm to ourselves, others, and the planet. We cannot take the burden on our shoulders what others do, and the change we are looking for in others and the world is the change we need to make inside ourselves.